When Ryan's when it's time to begin, it's on the Review of Raw with John Pollock and Wai Ting, the A-Team that makes sense of these things we see in the ring every week on TV. It's Review of Raw for Monday night, download it Tuesday morning from the Fight Network site. It's Review of Raw for Monday night on USA. Now on the John and Wai take the mic.
Welcome everyone to Review of Raw. It's John Pollock and Wai Ting
Yes.
with you on this
Seamless intro.
Monday night. Yes.
Yeah, very
perfect.
nice.
Nailed
Very
it.
nice, yeah.
How are you doing?
Pretty well.
Are you excited for this weekend? 8,000 hours of wrestling?
SummerSlam? Man, I'm going to have a party.
No, you're not.
No, I actually won't be in town.
You're leaving.
Yeah, I'm on a work trip.
Are you going to SummerSlam?
Nope,
No, you're not.
I'm not.
You're just leaving altogether. Are you
But
going to watch SummerSlam this
I will
weekend?
definitely try to. I don't know if I'll have time to watch it live. 6 hours is a big investment of my time, so I don't know if I'll have time off to watch it, but I will.
Will they
watch
fit it
after.
into 6 hours? Will they go over?
Yeah, for sure.
That's ridiculous.
Well, they usually do for like these shows, don't they? WrestleMania. I thought we would get 2 matches cut off from SummerSlam after Raw tonight, but it looks like both those matches are still on.
That's not what the show was called tonight. Tonight was SummerSlam has come early.
Yes.
Holy Christ, was that used over and over and over again. So let us explain as we get into our review of Raw from Monday night in Boston, Massachusetts at the TD Garden,
Okay.
the site of the very first UFC card on Fox Sports 1 that I attended in August of 2013, where Chael Sonnen submitted Mauricio Shogun Rua.
Nobody cares.
Guillotine submission. Conor McGregor fought on that card against Max Holloway. Think of that fight today. And it happened 4 years ago this month in this arena.
We're losing. We're losing all these wrestling fans right now.
I'm trying to scare them all away.
This MMA and
Well, there was no Conor McGregor on this show. But we did have Dean Ambrose, who came out to start the show. And he immediately called out Seth Rollins. And this is where Booker repeats that he can sympathize with these two because he went 5 years without speaking to Stevie Ray.
he brought that up many times.
It's his relatability factor.
I thought it worked out here. I feel like this. I understand that they're trying to build this relationship, but like in previous weeks, it really kind of played across less like a. Never mind.
No, explain the thought.
I won't say.
There's certainly a romantic tinge to this reunion.
It really felt like it to me, but this week, I think they, they're it's just a brotherhood, not anything more than that. It's just a brotherhood.
Dude, I've loved it.
Yeah.
I think this is seriously one of the best storylines going into SummerSlam has been this tag team.
Yeah, definitely.
So he's out. Have you ever read Dean's T-shirt?
I feel like I have. Why?
I've never read it until tonight.
What does it actually say?
No good Dean goes unhinged.
I'm surprised we never used that for a title.
Shocking.
Yeah.
Do you own this shirt, Sam? Please don't wear this shirt if you come in. This is an awful T-shirt. I can't imagine anyone buying this.
No good Dean goes
Unhinged.
Okay. Well, speaking of T-shirts, John, if you want to win one, courtesy of ProWrestlingTees.com/law, you should just leave your best and worst moments in the comments below on our YouTube page, and you too can win a free T-shirt. I don't think you can win that Dean Ambrose shirt, but there are plenty of other great ones to choose from Pro Wrestling Tees.
No, we do not have the Dean Ambrose shirt available, but so many others.
So many others.
Like Wai Ting's face right on your shirt.
Yeah, or John Pollock's face on a shirt.
Or is our Survivor Series shirt still available?
Yes, it is.
That's a great one, I think.
Yes, it is.
It's really clever.
Well, since you brought it up, we are going to interrupt this Review of Raw moment momentarily because there is actually a new shirt up on our Pro Wrestling Tees store, ProWrestlingTees.com/law, and I want to get John Pollock's reaction to it right on camera.
I didn't know about this.
You had no idea.
Please, it's weird because I usually go to this.
And everybody watching, please go to ProWrestlingTees.com/law, LAW, right now so that you can watch along with John for his reaction to our newest shirts.
Oh, God. I see the top. What is this?
It is our very own DJ JoPo T-shirts. We got 3 of them. We got blue, we got black, we got white.
These look ridiculous.
This will mean nothing to you if you're not following. So please go right now, prowrestlingtees.com.
Who made these? Who is to blame for this? Is this
The
you or
person
Braden?
to blame is our good friend and expert designer Robert Pearson.
Oh, Robert Pearson.
It was a collaborative effort, but I mean the designers all
Okay,
Rob's.
why am I white in 2 of them and then I'm blue like I'm a Smurf in the blue shirt?
It's called. You never heard of pop art?
No, I
Never
haven't.
heard of Andy Warhol? These are some of my favorite shirts that I think Robert has ever designed.
These
for,
are funny.
for any of us on the law. It is DJ JoPo
With the bandana.
with the bandana in an animated drawing in the flavor of Dr. Dre's The Chronic. So do check it out. Grab them while you can.
Unbelievable.
I'm glad we got that reaction.
Glad we got new shirts up
Yeah.
there. That's great.
Leave your best and worst moments for Raw in the comments below and subscribe to the channel, and you too might be able to win one.
Well, no good shirt goes unhinged.
Oh.
Ambrose tells Seth, who he brings out, "I'm sick and tired of playing these games, dog." And Rollins says, "Ambrose saved him 1 week, disappeared the next. You're also playing games." And says that Ambrose is lying when he says he can't trust him because he knows that together they can run this place as a team. So Rollins wants to fist him. And the crowd wants to see them fist. And they're all chanting yes. Ambrose says he can't trust him. Rollins says, "Well, sometimes I can't even trust myself." And says maybe their differences are why they work so well together. No one can touch us. He's done playing games. So then Ambrose looks deep into Seth's eyes. And as he stares down into this ocean of emotion, Rollins teases fisting Ambrose. But now Seth looks away after just offering his fist moments ago. So they start fighting, and they roll to the floor, and they're continuing to brawl when Cesaro and Sheamus run down. They attack both Rollins and Ambrose, who make their comeback. They fight off Cesaro and Sheamus, sending them to the floor with clotheslines, and then they're left together. 1 fist, 2 fist, and they fist on live television, and this place went nuts.
They went nuts.
This, had they kissed, it wouldn't have gotten as big a reaction as this.
No, I don't think so.
But this was very much, this was taking the blueprint of any couple that you rooted to, get together, and that was this angle.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. I thought they did a great job of it. They did a great job of teasing the fisting, taking it away, bringing it back, teasing it again, and then taking it away.
It got a little silly.
What?
When
Come on.
Rollins offers it to him, and
Yeah.
then 2 minutes later, he says, "Psych,
So whatever.
I'm not going to do it.
Dude,
You've changed my mind in 2 minutes."
It's a near fall, man. It's a false finish. You got to tease the crowd. And when they finally did it, fist. One of the more satisfying fistings I recall in recent memory. That's for sure.
So they are together, and Kurt comes out, and he announces that they will be taking on the WWE Tag Team Champions at SummerSlam, Cesaro and Sheamus. Who do you feel is going to be the WWE Tag Team Champions after Sunday? Is it going to be the reigning WWE Champions, or will they be a first-time WWE Tag Team Champions, Dean Ambrose and Seth Rollins?
It is rather unfortunate that he couldn't have been hired by, I don't know, GFW or Lucha Underground to be their GM.
Yeah.
Instead, he had to pick the company that had 2 W's in its name.
Hey, he's lucky he didn't come along in the 70s.
Wow, that would have been terrible.
Bruno Sammartino, you are stripped of the WWF Championship. Could be a lot worse.
It definitely could be way worse.
I will never not hear this.
Imagine if websites were a thing back in the 70s.
Wait, we literally have done this bit.
Oh, sorry. Would it be 6 W's? You know what? It should just be f.com. www.f.com.
Sure.
That'd be brilliant.
He could definitely do that. I'm picturing him doing the alphabet. TUV.
John, someday, God forbid, because this is your career, I hope you don't have any type of weird mouth thing You know, I don't know if you have like a weird
I'm sure I do.
dental issue going on where you won't be able to say the letters W together very clearly. It might be terrible. And that's probably what this man's going through. So we should, come on, let's pay some respect.
He's just an ECW fan at heart.
Why? Oh, dubbed, yeah, because the dubs, yes, that's right.
Michael Cole then gave a health update on Ric Flair. They didn't get into any specifics other than he underwent surgery, but they stressed he was not out of the woods yet, but in an Atlanta hospital. And that was the only reference to Ric Flair on the show. And it was kind of awkward because the ticker on Sportsnet's feed, on Sportsnet 360, was still listing him as being in a medically induced coma, which, you know, he's obviously out of now. But yeah, they brought it up, and that was it. So, do you feel that given this, it's probably a good chance Charlotte's not on TV Tuesday night? You would assume, and maybe won't even be figured into SummerSlam.
I would assume that she wouldn't, and I wonder if they had known about this prior, and maybe that could be a reason why she hasn't been a very prominent figure in the SmackDown division lately.
I mean, he had been doing promotional stuff like as of a week ago. So
was this not surgery scheduled? It was
no, I think he was just admitted on Saturday into the ICU, and then they put him into a medically induced coma and then had to have the surgery right afterwards. So this was not something planned in advance or anything. Alexa Bliss then came out, and they tried to sell it like she was getting onto a throne. She was a goddess on her throne. Go watch the thing. This is a lifeguard's chair that they got for her.
Yeah, sure. It worked,
I guess.
Where would you get a throne that tall?
I don't know. It just seemed a little awkward. Nia Jax and Sasha Banks was our number one contenders match. Winner taking on Alexa on Sunday. Also, no Bayley on this show, which really the show, I guess, didn't need her. If she's hurt, why bring her out to Raw if she's not figured into SummerSlam? Jax is just overpowering Sasha at the beginning, went through a commercial break, caught her coming off the apron and swung her by the legs into the barricade, hit her with a leg drop, set up for a Dodon. I guess watching her Ryusuke Taguchi junior heavyweight tag title win over the weekend. Sasha countered that into a roll-up. Then Sasha got onto her back, ties up Jax's arms, and gets dropped with a Samoan drop. But Sasha just barely grabs the bottom rope to break it, takes another Samoan drop, and rolls to the floor for a second commercial break. Coming off of the turnbuckle, Sasha tried for a sunset flip and can't get Jax off the turnbuckle, so kicks out her leg and then gets a near fall after hitting the double knees off the ropes. Sasha then drilled her with knees in the corner, runs into a boot, and then Jax goes to lift her, but is put into the bank statement. Jax tries to lift and slam her out, but ends up taking a tornado DDT back into the bank statement where Jax taps out. This was, I thought, a very good match.
I thought so, too. I think plenty of credit to both girls, but I think especially Sasha here, who showed a lot of creativity, especially with her bank statement sequence there at the end. I loved her switching sides from the bank statement to the other side into a crossface in order to block Nia's arm from reaching the ropes. And then this awesome counter into a tornado DDT. I think just plenty of great creativity here. And, you know, she felt inspired. And I thought Nia played her role very well, too, playing a very good, believable monster and acting as a great base for Sasha to work off of. So I thought it was a very good match.
One in her hometown. Yep. Shocking. And I think that this may have benefited from the fact that they had a week knowing this match was coming to probably come up with a lot of ideas. Like, this was a really well laid out match, I felt. I thought it
their last
emphasized both.
Their last match was quite good, too, if I remember correctly.
That was the end of the gauntlet, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought this was even better. I thought this was really, this was the best singles match I've seen these two have together. Kurt is in the back, and he cheers this outcome. Quite a bias here. I mean, cheering one over the other. Says SummerSlam is going to be tremendous. The Hardys walk in, and this is where Kurt informs them of Scott Dawson's injury and that they're not going to get their hands on the Revival this Sunday. So the Miztourage interrupts, and they complain about Brock Lesnar attacking them last week and Kurt Angle setting Brock loose on them. The Hardys laugh about this. Miz says he's going to face Jason Jordan tonight. Angle says that's fine. They cut back. The Hardys have just disappeared.
Yeah.
They were deleted from the scene, and a referee comes in to inform Angle that there is a problem between Finn Balor and Bray Wyatt, and Kurt runs off, leaving the Miztourage. So we come back from break, and Balor and Bray are fighting in the back. There's a pull apart. Angle has to yell and announces they're going to have their match tonight. SummerSlam comes early, Way.
Yeah.
Then Elias was in the ring. Called this place a dump. Starts his song calling the people disgusting. Says this place is wicked, cursed. And gets interrupted by R-Truth. And I thought we were going to get a 60-second match. But no. Instead, R-Truth came down and got jumped entering the ring. Left laying by Elias, who grabbed his guitar and just left with it. So we are left with an Elias, R-Truth, Raw the night after SummerSlam match at best.
I mean, what issue did Truth have with him that he came out here?
Maybe he loves multiple cities in the U.S. and felt that Boston was getting a bad rap here.
Where's he from?
North Carolina.
Okay, so I mean, the guy has no affiliation to Boston to be so outraged by this man's music that he would come out to defend it.
What's his name?
Elias?
No, the other.
Or Truth?
He believes in the truth, and he felt that these are falsehoods being spread by Elias.
If only that were the gimmick.
Well, they needed
loves
someone
telling
for
the truth.
Elias to lay out, and they clearly see Elias at a certain level. But, I mean, Elias, I love this gimmick, especially in Toronto last week, and I thought it continued here in Boston. But, man, that bell rings, I'm out.
Well, that's too bad.
Wow.
But I thought another successful week for the Drifter. I think a lot of his lines, they're not great. The lyrics aren't really clever. The songs are bad.
See, I kind of like the fact that if he gets too clever,
Yeah,
there's
I know.
going to be that natural fandom that's
Yes.
they're gonna turn this guy.
I know.
I almost like the fact that he's bad at this.
That was my point.
Oh, okay.
That I'm sure the point is that he's so bad that you want to boo him. And I guess it's working, you know, but does it translate to I don't know, interesting program?
It's like the Miz doing those Daniel Bryan kicks. They can't be good kicks. They've got to be awful.
Yeah, of course. But the Drift Away is now not just a rolling cutter, but a swinging fisherman suplex.
Well, it drifts. Can mean many things. There were bumpers all show long of the four members of the Universal title match that they were going to be in the same ring together tonight, with the hope that if you weren't paying close attention, you'd think you were getting a tag match with Brock Lesnar's first TV match during this entire 5-year return to WWE. Then a shark cage was lowered into the ring, and Big Cass came out for a promo. This crowd detested this man. They just booed. They didn't want to let him start his promo. He had to start and stop multiple times. It just kept getting louder and louder. And I thought Cass just helped build these boos so much. They were chanting, "You suck." He finally starts his promo and says that Enzo needs Big Show, and he's nothing without someone standing behind him and having his back. He needs someone to have his back because of all the people he pisses off backstage, which is seemingly every day. And says that people cheer Enzo's lines even though they don't understand what he's saying. There's a new 7-footer on the block, and he'll prove to everyone he's the best big man in the game today, which prompts Enzo to come out. And did you catch, as Enzo came out of the back, someone tossed a drink that just missed Enzo and landed right on the stage.
Wow.
Not a fan, somebody in the crowd. So he's out. Big chance for Enzo. He mocks Cass for getting knocked out the last 2 weeks, and then he brings out the Big Show. Big Show comes into the ring, and Anderson and Gallows appear, attacking Big Show. He fights back. He tries to chokeslam Anderson and Gallows, but Cass lays him out with a big boot. They triple team him. Enzo is nailed off the apron with a big boot, and then they drag Big Show to the shark cage, put his right arm in the doorway, and slam the door shut onto his wrist, and then Cass stomps the wrist. And the thinking here is that now the knockout punch is eliminated. I thought this was very clever. I liked the angle. I thought there was tons of heat for this segment. I thought this was great.
Yeah, I thought it was pretty okay.
pretty okay.
I mean, I think in the end, it's still a Big Show versus Big Cass match, which I'm not really all that excited about at all.
But I thought they did the best angle possible for this match. Like, I just thought having the New York heel in Boston, I think that added to this segment a lot. Crowd added a ton to this, and it was a really good angle.
Yeah, really hot crowd, and maybe almost like a career highlight crowd reaction for Big Cass. Certainly the biggest he's had since being a heel. And I thought the man held his composure and stayed completely in character.
He felt like a real star here.
He did, yeah. And I feel like it was more the crowd hating Big Cass than them loving Enzo. Because when Enzo came out, he got a good reaction, but like it didn't match the level of heat that I thought Cass got. And certainly by the way Enzo was treated in the segment, you didn't leave the segment with any bigger appreciation of Enzo whatsoever. It's almost like they're trying to just make him more of a jester and kind of lower his rank in the card. All the sympathy is now put on Big Show, and it's almost like Enzo is this guy who keeps fucking up and, is causing all this hassle for everybody else.
Was I the only one who thought when they were dragging Big Show to the cage that they were going to lock him in and hoist him up in the shark cage?
Oh, I thought so too.
Oh my God.
That would be a terrible idea.
That would have been frightening. Yeah. I would have been scared for my life watching that.
Mm-hmm.
SummerSlam comes early. Neville versus Akira Tozawa for the Cruiserweight title.
Mm-hmm.
This is the first time this title has been defended on Raw since March. It's been a long stretch.
It's been protected. You got to pay to watch this.
Tozawa drop kicked him to the floor off the apron and then gets drilled with a right hand. Neville rolls to the floor. They go through a break. Neville hit a missile drop kick when they return. Booker then talks about Tozawa coming up through the Dragon Gate dojo, stating, "I know all about Ultimo Dragon." Tozawa then landed a pair of suicide dives, rolled Neville back in for a 2 count. Then Tozawa climbs to the top, gets stopped with the senton attempt. Neville hits a superplex, but Tozawa kicks out, lands a Hurricane Rana, and then a spin kick to the head. He goes to the top again, but Neville gets up. Neville uses the referee as a shield, and Neville drops him on his bad shoulder, goes for the Rings of Saturn, but Tozawa reverses, getting a 2 count. Tozawa sends Neville into the gets sent into the turnbuckle. Neville then missed with the red arrow. Tozawa goes to the top, hits the senton, and he pins Neville to win the title. Got a very big reaction. Mm-hmm. And the 197-day title reign is over. Akira Tozawa wins. Titus and Apollo Crews came in to celebrate. And Graves compares it to Buster Douglas beating Mike Tyson.
Okay. Yeah, sure. Was it that big of an upset? I don't know.
This is not really the story of a big underdog.
Yeah, but a very good match. I thought the crowd reaction started very average, but it was pretty loud by the end. And certainly with the title switch that I don't know if many people were expecting, they definitely got them. So I thought it was good for them to do this on Raw because it's a bigger deal on Raw than it would be getting buried on a SummerSlam. But I thought they were doing this so that they could take the match off of SummerSlam. But it turns out that they're doing a rematch there too. So it appears that this is just their way of driving interest into the feud by doing the title switch, which they do often. And I really typically hate it. I hate giving away the climax in order to build to a rematch at the pay-per-view. Or at a future date. It just seems kind of like I don't know. It just feels like you're giving away the big moment in order to lead up to something else. But perhaps it's the best thing they can do, given all the masters that they have to serve with network ratings and TV ratings and network subscriptions and whatnot.
9 times out of 10, I probably wouldn't have liked this, that you're taking a match from SummerSlam, putting the big thing on Raw. However, this is the Cruiserweight title. Mm-hmm. It's a division that has struggled so much. I think the title change on the kickoff show would have been so anticlimactic and
it would have seemed smaller.
Completely forgotten by the end of the show. You did this in front of one of the better crowds to react to a Cruiserweight match on Raw in a long time. Way more people saw this. And the fact is, this rematch, it is an undercard match. Mm-hmm. I'd rather you do the big switch in front of the most people. And Tozawa at least felt like he had something here coming out of this. So I really didn't have an issue with doing the title change here, and then you'll at least get a good match on the kickoff show, and the title change felt important here on Raw as opposed to what it would have felt like on Sunday. Then the trainer was informing the Big Show his right hand is broken. The trainer is told to leave. Enzo apologizes, tells him just forget about SummerSlam. And Big Show says there's no way in hell he's missing SummerSlam. Don't you dare forget who I am. I'm the man that was left in the desert by The Undertaker and made snakeskin boots and carried a motorcycle on my shoulder out of the desert when there was no gasoline left in the motorcycle.
Wow. Yikes.
You didn't listen to the end of Review Away, did you?
No,
Oh.
sorry. I did, but I that promo I don't think really stuck with me.
Oh, that's unfortunate. It's really stuck with me. So there you have it. We have our match. Did you also notice the charts on the trainer's wall?
No. What were they?
I don't really know what they were. I think one was for maybe body fat, or it was a body mass index chart.
Oh, okay.
You know, things
This wasn't like a Fashion Files Easter egg type of board?
I don't think this was. I think this was a grade 1 trainer's room that they put the Big Show and Enzo in. Mickie James is on her phone. So Emma walks in on her phone. And she starts complaining about Twitter's reaction to Sasha's win. She states she should have won last week in the triple threat. She started the women's revolution and complains. Mickie says she's rewriting history and that Emma tapped out last week and tells her to stop complaining on social media. Why don't you put your phone down and we can have a match? I thought that this was a conversation lifted from yourself and Braden from the SmackDown crowd on Tuesday.
I mean, I was pretty much on my phone the entire time, too, because I was taking notes. Braden was Snapchatting, so he was doing his duty as well.
So you were Mickie, the veteran, the professional, and he was Emma.
Yeah.
Complaining about something online.
I think he was just like seriously, the man is crazy with his Snapchatting. Follow him on Snapchat. He'll just snap everything. And it's just like, he'll just be like, he'll add an emoji to it. Usually it's the praying hands. You know, he'll write like, lit. It's lit. Everything is just like, lit, lit, lit. Everything is that. So I think that's what he was busy doing at SmackDown.
He littered Snapchat.
That he did.
So they made a match for later tonight with Emma and Mickie James. Again, this theme, SummerSlam comes early.
Mm-hmm.
They announced SummerSlam week will once again be in Brooklyn next year. This was coming up to the end of the second hour, and we had 2 matches at this point, although lengthy ones, with the Cruiserweight title and the number 1 contenders match. So then we go to Bray Wyatt and Finn Balor, as Michael Cole reminds us that SummerSlam comes early. Balor started the match with these leg kicks and then using knees from the tie clinch. Balor then sent him to the floor. They go through a commercial. Bray hit him with this flying forearm that Booker said Bray hit him at 60 miles per hour, which means Bray can basically, I mean, who needs a car when you're Bray Wyatt? He's that fast.
Is that outrageous? 60 miles?
For a man to be coming off the ropes at 60 miles an hour.
How much is 60? Oh, for him to come. So wait, was he saying the elbow or the man? How much is 60 miles in kilometers?
Well, do the conversion rate.
Yeah, okay. It's 96 kilometers an hour.
Dude, that's above the highway.
The highway. I mean, I don't know.
Wow.
You know, didn't they do like a fight science once where they measured like the velocity of a man's kicks?
Yes.
Or Randy Couture's punch or something like that. We'll have to get Bray in there.
Okay. Bray hit a sling blade after taking that 60-mile-an-hour forearm. Missed with the running drop kick. Bray hit a senton for a 2 count. The Sister Abigail was blocked into a double foot stomp. Balor then ran around the floor, hitting him with the drop kick, then climbed to the top. Bray crotched him, and then Bray just pulled him off and hit him with Sister Abigail and pinned Finn Balor. After the match, he hit him with another Sister Abigail, and then he puts his arms out like he's Jesus on the cross. The lights go out, and then they come back on, and Balor has moved into the corner, and Bray has a bucket.
Bucket.
And
a bucket of?
We'll get there. Bray said, this is what happens when you send a boy to do the devil's work. And then he poured viscous, acidic liquid on top of Finn Balor. This red. I can't even say it was like blood. It looked like someone that their blood had an extreme clotting issue.
Oh, it looked like tomato juice. Probably Heinz. It's acidic.
The best part of this was Finn selling the crippling effects of this liquid. Of this, well, if it was acidic, maybe he was really in trouble here.
Yeah. Maybe he hates tomatoes. I have a friend who hates ketchup. Can't stand the smell of it.
The real victims of this segment were Emma and Mickey, who were next, because this crowd was really taken aback
they
by this
completely
angle.
Changed the mat.
This sucked, this angle.
Oh, this Bray versus Finn Balor?
This angle, yes, I'm saying.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying the next match suffered as a result of this angle when they had to follow this. Or were you into the viscous acidic liquid
I don't
angle?
think... I thought the next match sucked because of nothing to do with this.
I don't think this angle helped. This crowd was hot all night, and then boom, they were dead here.
I wouldn't blame this, though. I thought
this was pretty crappy. This crowd, it was like you popped the balloon with a pin during this angle.
Well, I'll say the angle itself has been a disappointment, and it felt like what we saw tonight was a rush to get a reason for Balor to dig up the demon in order to defeat Bray.
Which can we say, after arguing last week? I think Agnew's idea was 100 times better than this.
100%. 100%. To have the demon appear on screen, I think... I didn't hate this. You at least had something visual. But I think it would have been way cooler to actually see the demon appear. Even after the blood, even after the tomato juice, just have the demon...
Could have been shot really cool on the screen in the dark. And
lights
you just,
go out.
Even if you see the eyes.
Yeah.
And it's...
So,
like, you want to see the entrance. That's what you're tuning in to see. It's not so much just him and his paint.
I don't know who you really blame here. I don't know if it's a lack of time that they haven't had to really tell the story of this demon and why the demon needs to face off against Bray Wyatt.
Because he's here to defend tomato juice attacks.
It's just like, I feel like they could have done a better job, certainly. And I feel like they probably wouldn't have given this match away just on TV like this if they didn't feel like this match was already pretty cold to begin with. So you'll get cool paint on Sunday, but unfortunately the paint doesn't come with any backstory to make it meaningful,
No, and this was kind of like a very silly reason. Like, you got doused with paint and you're... Anyway, I don't want to see this match on Sunday. That's where I am after Raw, because I got enough of it out of this. There's not even the intrigue of seeing it for the first time.
I totally would almost have preferred that they saved the demon for, a B-level show, if with a storyline that actually kind of warranted it, rather than a rush job like this.
Which, this is a feud I could see continuing beyond SummerSlam.
But because it's SummerSlam, they want to do the thing.
They just felt like this show, like you're just throwing everything onto SummerSlam, and not everything has its own focus and promotion. It's just you're stacking so much on here that after a 6-hour show, no one's going to remember the demon paint. This is going to be in the 8 o'clock hour of a show that's going to end at 11:30. Emma and Mickey. Emma stepped on her hair. Booker got a kick out of that. Graves compared Emma to a young Booker T, and Mick kicked for the win in 407.
For once, the coldest match on Raw wasn't a Cruiserweight match.
No, this was, there was a flat line throughout the TD Garden.
It was these two, but I don't blame these two in particular at all. You're putting these two out there after you've given them almost zero character development throughout the weeks. This really was not meant to be anything but a filler, unless it was to lead to another storyline afterwards, which, it could. But the week before SummerSlam, no one's going to care about this.
We then cut to Kurt Angle's office, which had blood on the door.
No, red viscous liquid, okay?
Sorry.
Let's be clear.
Red
Advertisers are watching.
Viscous acidic liquid,
Yes.
which, hey, at least it made sense that, Finn had to open this door, so they thought of that detail.
Yes.
Amazing some of the little things they think of.
It looked like a Wilson.
Yeah. So a bloody Balor comes out, a viscous Balor comes out of the office, and Charlie is there to interview him, looking like a total idiot.
Yeah, he did. He kind of came, especially with his pouty face. He just came across kind of like a little kid who was, what do you call that on guts? He was oozed.
He was oozed.
Remember? Yeah, he was oozed. Nickelodeon.
You can't do that on television.
Oh,
Is that
okay.
what you're
yeah,
thinking
yeah,
of?
yeah,
Yeah. Maybe he could have got slimed.
Slimed. Yes, slimed. Yes,
Yes.
slimed. Thank you.
He says, Bray has his demons. I've got my demons too. So either he's showing up as the demon or he's going to be knocked up on heroin on Sunday.
Wow, that's quite extreme. Yeah, you know what? If this was a more adult product, I'd be totally down for that.
I would love to see a character that has a drug addiction that
Yeah,
he's got to
like-
work through.
It explains the pain. It explains at least a change in character. He needs to shoot up in order to become the demon. I think that would be cool.
Yeah. It's a reminder. Maybe he's kicked this habit and he's going back to his mindset of when he was at rock bottom and had nothing to lose.
Sign me up.
So there you go. Heroin junkie Finn Balor.
Yeah.
Great option. And Bray Wyatt kind of like is a heroin junkie. I mean, that kind of is the character. When I hear his promos, that's immediately what I think of.
Interesting.
Like that is maybe to blame for
You
the
think
content.
he's way too big though? He's way too fat to be a junkie. He'd have to be skinnier.
Well, the Miz and Jason Jordan was next. Non-title match. Why this was happening, I don't quite know. Jordan landed a drop kick. He was in control. Axel and Dallas ran in a minute 33, causing the DQ. And then the Hardys ran out for the save, tossed them to the floor, hit a poetry in motion to Miz, and Jordan hit an overhead belly-to-belly to Miz. Segment ended. I assumed six-man tag is going to be on the kickoff on Sunday. Nope, we came back and we got the six-man tag on Raw.
SummerSlam comes early.
I guess so. And I don't know if it was just because this was late in the show. This match went forever.
You did? Yeah.
This felt like a long match. It was it was like 14 and a half minutes. Went through, I believe, 2 commercial breaks. Matt is beating down Bo as Booker says that he almost just deleted that kid, Bo Dallas. The Hardys double-teamed Dallas. Jordan came in with Miz, missed a running shoulder tackle into the corner. They went through the commercial. They wore down Matt. That built up to a hot tag to Jeff. He hit the Whisper in the Wind that Corey called the best Whisper in the Wind he's ever seen. Ever. And
who am I to doubt him?
yeah, so Corey was screaming at the top of his lungs about this Whisper. And they go back to the top. Axel gets knocked down. Miz then is in. Dallas hits a swinging hangman's neck breaker off the top. Jordan makes the save. Then Jordan does the suplex, sending Miz into Axel, which I do like that suplex spot they do. Dallas then sends Jordan to the floor. Twist of Fate by Jeff. Curtis Axel makes the save, and then it ends with Jordan hitting Miz with his pop-up into the neck breaker, a suplex to Axel, twist of fate by Matt, and the swanton by Jeff, which Corey did not grade on a precision curve, and pin Dallas for the win. So no need to do this again, and it makes you wonder if the Hardys are even going to be part of SummerSlam. There was nothing teased.
I have to assume that they will be because I mean,
With what?
Maybe a rematch of this, something with the Miz. But it looks they are still one of the most over acts on Raw, judging by their crowd reaction.
I'm not. They would be one of my. Look at where they were at WrestleMania.
So-
it's like you could easily have a spot with them. I thought this 6-man would have been perfect for the kickoff.
No, they'll probably just do it again or do some variation of it. Colin Graves here made a brief mention of the Hardys awakening or awokening,
Yes,
as
which they noted is not
Matt
a
puts
word.
it. Yeah, so they're definitely pushing back towards it after maybe a few weeks delay, and they seem to be going with the term awoken Hardys. And it's interesting to see how they're going to build to it because it doesn't look like that they're going to go the losing streak route, which they seem to be going prior. So I wonder. I think Jordan got a good babyface rub from working with the Hardys this week, which kind of still makes me a little confused why he faced a Canadian guy last week if they are going ahead with him as a babyface. Or maybe it's just them toying with the audience's expectations.
It wasn't so much the fact it was a Canadian last week. He was billed from Quebec in Toronto.
So what?
That's a natural rivalry.
Not really.
Yes, it is.
But-
Toronto and Montreal.
Yeah, but not compared to an all-American wrestler. You know what I mean? Not to a guy wearing American stripes.
Well, it's not like they build him from Toronto.
Yeah, but still, I'll cheer I'll cheer the Quebec dude any day compared to an American. 100%. Why would I cheer for Sami Zayn? Why would Torontonians cheer for Sami Zayn?
Well, this was...
Why would Montrealers cheer for Bret Hart?
Well, I think you're comparing...
But what I'm saying is, if that was the intent, it obviously didn't work last week.
Well, I mean, he didn't get that much of a negative reaction in this. He was largely hidden in this.
Yeah, I'm saying he didn't, but last week he did. So it seemed just really incongruent, depending on what their intentions are with him.
Well, they seem to have really, I don't want to say put him on the back burner, but this hardly feels like this is a major character on the show.
Not for SummerSlam.
No. Then they got breaking news. They formally announced that it will be the Demon, Finn Balor, against Bray Wyatt.
Yes.
I want to know what this process was. What happened after that interview with Charlie? Did Finn fill out a form and have it notarized, and did he get a license by the New York State Athletic Commission to be the Demon?
Yeah, I don't know how much of a selling point it really is. We're all going to think it's really cool. Yeah, paint, awesome. He looks way cooler. The action figure looks way cooler with paint on than without. But I mean, after all this time off, I really feel like I expected a bit more of a backstory for this character.
Akira Tozawa's championship celebration will be on 205 Live on Tuesday, and they confirm the rematch will be this Sunday. And then the final segment, Kurt Angle is in the ring with security all around the ring, and he announces, tonight we are having a face-to-face-to-face-to-face.
Yeah.
4 faces all together in the same ring. Brock and Heyman come out. Heyman calls this one last chance to squeeze another rating out of his client and says that all hell is going to break loose. And his father once told him, it doesn't make you paranoid just because you think the whole world is against you. And explains how the odds are against Lesnar, that the fatal 4-way concept sucks. And he runs down all the other opponents and why they won't beat Lesnar. He says it may be Reigns' yard, but his yard is inside of Lesnar's house, and rent is due this Sunday at SummerSlam. He says, if anything, he's undersold this once-in-a-lifetime athlete and presents his case of why you should order the network and watch SummerSlam and lists the possible options of what will happen. Joe comes out and says he doesn't fear Lesnar. He's coming to rip the title from Lesnar's hands after putting him to sleep. Then Braun comes out and says he is the last man standing. Ask Roman Reigns. And Joe just calls bullshit on this, stating that he is the one that put Reigns down. Strowman just happened to be the man that barely stood up when Roman went down. And then Roman is finally out, and he comes in and he spears Joe. Security just stands there with their hands in their pockets. Strowman then power slams Reigns. No reaction. And then Lesnar and Strowman have a stare down, and this prompts the 82nd Airborne of security to run into the ring to stop these two from touching. And they fought off all of the security members. And then the locker room empties. The announcer said almost the entire locker room. Yes, if you watch, every single guy that is not booked for a match in SummerSlam was part of this, including the Hardys. The Hardys were in the go home, pull apart brawl segment. And that's how the show ended. Lesnar broke free, dove onto Strowman's corner. Show ended. That seemed to be the real matchup I think they want you to leave wanting. And probably after SummerSlam, I think that's a match you get to in the fall. I think Lesnar retains this Sunday, and Strowman is the next opponent. Strowman is protected heavily.
You think so? Or do you think they pull a bit of a swerve with this and give you an unexpected title win from somebody else?
There's the option that you could have Strowman win the title but not beat Lesnar. That makes for a natural rematch to come out of this. That's another option you could go.
Yeah. But you think it's either Brock or Braun?
That's the match, personally. I will really want to see a singles match between those two.
Who's to say that has to include the title? And do they follow up on that stipulation if Brock loses that he leaves?
Well, you can...
What's odd about that is that the only mentions of it that I've heard are from Paul Heyman in his promos. And something tells me that I wonder why they wouldn't be more explicit about it in advertising or even with the commentators, that stipulation. Well,
I feel just for that reason, I think Brock is retaining the title. I don't think he's dropping it on Sunday. I don't love the idea of him just dropping the title to have a quick fall program if ultimately you're just getting the title back to Lesnar anyway. But I do like the idea of the Strowman match coming out of this. So the natural assumption is Joe takes the fall in this, regardless of who wins. Would you agree? Or will they do something to surprise everyone?
I really want to see Joe win it. I really want to see Joe with the belt. I think the man has shown incredible talent, and I feel like now's the time. If you want to make this guy into another bona fide main eventer, you break Braun off with Brock, whatever, but give Joe a run. He's there every week. The guy can appear with the title every single week, and he looks like a dominant champion with that thing. So I hope they decide to do that on Sunday.
So what's your official pick?
I'm going with the pick that I want to see, and that's Samoa Joe.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Well, that's how the show ended. What did you think of this Go Home Raw?
I thought it was a hot show, certainly with a hot crowd.
Yes.
And I feel like we have our complaints about some of the more lackluster builds, including Bray versus Finn. I thought they did a good job with Sasha and Alexa. Sasha had a great match that really helped.
That's honestly Sasha and Alexa, especially after watching this match with Nia. That's one of the matches I'm more looking forward to because I think that I think it's going to be Alexa has her best opportunity to have a really good pay-per-view match with Sasha.
But the main draw of the whole thing is, of course, the main event, and I think they've done an excellent job with the build to that four-way. They didn't really have to do much tonight. Just have Paul go out there with the hard sell and then a big pull-apart, because I think the heat is already there. I think they've already done a great job. Adding the stip of Brock leaving, dropping the hints of the UFC involvement, I think was just extra icing on the cake that they got lucky with, and I'm looking forward to the match.
Yeah, If anything, it's some of the middle of the card matches that I just feel inevitably, like if you have Orton and Rusev do 15, you do Cena and Corbin do 15, it's like, man, there are going to be some matches that drag in the middle.
Yeah.
And I just, there's some pairings that I like, dude, Nakamura and Jinder going 20 is a real struggle.
It might be one of those shows that you'll be better off watching the day after all the reviews are in, which I probably will be doing.
You could probably get SummerSlam in 60 minutes. Might be the best way to watch it.
Yeah.
So that's coming up on Sunday. They did confirm the kickoff is 2 hours, just to make sure we get all of that in there. So that is it. We are going to be back later this week. We're going to review SmackDown's Go Home show from Providence, Rhode Island. The illustrious Dunkin' Donuts Center plays host to the final SmackDown before SummerSlam on Sunday. So we'll have a review of that. I'm going to try and watch 205 Live. Wai will not watch it. He is done. He retired with last week's Toronto live viewing.
Yeah.
It was a good run.
Yeah.
You're done with the Neville era. You're going out with Neville.
I'm not going to say I'll never watch it, but I feel like I almost have to pull myself away from it because I felt like it was part of my routine now.
I'm putting pressure on you not to watch it so that you won't.
Well, I'm putting pressure on myself not to watch it. I wanted to not watch it last week, but I ended up going to the show, so I was essentially forced.
Don't give in to your demons.
I just sat there, and this 205 show happened in front of me, unfortunately.
You couldn't escape it.
I couldn't. But this week I will 205 leave.
Oh, boy.
Yes.
He's out. Okay, so coming up Wednesday, it's a review of SmackDown. Lots of shows coming your way this week. In addition to that, we're going to have a preview of SummerSlam with Jimmy Corderas. We'll have a What's Next show going into the weekend, and then a show after TakeOver on Saturday night, Law on Sunday night following SummerSlam whenever it finishes. They might be on very, very late, but keep it tuned to liveaudiowrestling.com for all of our news, all of our shows, and we'll chat with you later this week.